Yes, hello everybody. Myself Sarmishta Shah. Today I'm going to teach standard 10th subject SS chapter number 15. Again I'm repeating my words. Standard 10th subject SS and chapter number 15 economic development. As you all know that all human beings are engaged in different activities. They all are doing something to earn money. They all are doing something to keep on their life in progress, and they all are doing whatsoever possible at their level. For example, your parents may be professionals, may be doing any job, so they are also doing activities. I am a teacher, I am a doing teaching job, so I am doing activity. So like that, in any Indian in any Indian activity, whatsoever work done for the purpose of earning money is called activity. And when we are getting money in for that activity, that is called economic activity. Today we are going to study that this economic activity is very important. Due to this economic activities only, we can see that India, our country, is developing day by day. And due to this economic activities only, America, Germany, France, England are called developed countries, and other countries in South Africa are remain still, we can say, underdeveloped. So I want to say that economic activity is very important. And as far as the lesson is concerned, in this lesson first we have to discuss about the difference between economic progress and economic development. When we are doing any economic activity, what is improvement that is felt in terms of quality is called economic development. And economic development is the first stage of any economy or any activity or any country's development process. And what is seen next is called economic progress. And economic progress we can study in terms of quantity, or we can say numbers, or we can say data. And second difference is that economic development is increase in research. Due to when we are doing economic activities, always the persons, the professional are trying to improve their quality, improve their income, improve their machinery, improve their technology, whatsoever. So that is called economic development. And when economic development or research is done, then we are having economic progress. Now third difference between them is according to the type of the country. Economic development is increasing income of the developing country, and economic progress is increasing the income of the developed countries. So again I am giving you in very short form that economic development, we can feel it, there is improvement in country's condition, there is improvement in common man of a country. And economic progress, which we can see in terms of data or in terms of number. For example, in 1951 the income of per head income was this much, and in 1991 the per head income was this much. So what increase we are getting in that number, that is economic progress. Now we came to our second topic of the second title of the lesson, that is economic activities. As I earlier told you, when any professional doing any work to earn money, that is called economic activity. For example, I am a teacher. If I am a teacher, I am teaching in school, I am always teaching at many classes also. So when I am doing this, I am earning money, I am getting money for my lectures, I am getting different types of payment for my lectures. So my teaching is an economic activity. But when I am teaching my kids at my home, I am not getting any money, and I am even not getting any reward for, even not getting any return for that. So that is, if I am teaching my kids at home without any earning process, that is called non-economic activity. So keep second thing in your mind, that economic activities is for earning and process, and non-economic activity is doing the same activity but without getting any return in financial form. Third concept we come to in this lesson, that is structure of Indian economy. As I told you that when we are doing different types of economic activities, a farmer is also doing farmer, cattle rearer is rearing the cattle, a teacher is teaching. So all the servicemen are doing different activities, and all are in getting different types of income. When they are getting income, everybody's income is added, and then we are getting national income of the country. And when we are talking about a country, when everybody's income is counted, so that is called GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. And when we are talking about any country, we are always having one concept in our mind, that how many sections or how many sectors are there in that particular economy. Now we are living in India, so we have to first study about the structure of Indian economy. In Indian economy, we are having three stages or three sectors. Number one is primary sectors. The primary sector is completely related with agriculture. In this, all the activities which are done by farmer, cattle rearer, or fisheries man, the person whatsoever they are doing, every activity is related to agriculture, forest, etc. For example, farming and cattle rearing. Second sector is secondary sector. Secondary sector actually depends on the agriculture for raw material, or we can say that secondary section depends, or also whatsoever the industries are coming in secondary sector, they are depending upon the agriculture for their raw material. For example, textile industries, for example, wooden industry, for example, furniture industry. Now, third type of sector is service sector. In that, this sector not depending on agriculture, forest, or any other nature as a raw materials resource, but it is completely giving service or doing whatsoever the activities not related with the nature. For example, my job like a teacher, trading work, health activities, these all are called service sector activities. Now we come to the fourth fact, that is factors of production. When we are doing any economic activities, all are not doing work at home only. All are not doing work in villages or as a farmer only. Some when we are talking about activities, as I already told you, first aim is to earn money, because that is only the basic concept of any market. So when we are talking about how to earn money, we have to study the factors of the production. And when we are knowing that every economic activity is completely based on four factors. Number one is land, means the land means particular office, building, land on which the economic activity is done. And second one is capital. Capital means sometimes we need money also to continue our activities. Third is labor. These all we are knowing, that who's the person who is doing the work, as a farmer also, as a teacher, that, or what we can say, to earn the money is called labor. And the fourth one is entrepreneurship. This person is collecting all four the factors and making economic activity possible for any economy. So most important character is entrepreneurship, because it coordinate all four factors, so called land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship activity. So now I want to say in short that the entrepreneur is a person who is connecting all four factors such land, capital, labor, and initiative step to get more and more profit. Now we come to our next topic or next title, that is allotment of methods of earning or economic activities in a country. So in world there are three methods of allotting are famous. Number one is marketing system, second one is social system, and the third one is mixed system. As the names are suggesting, in market system we are having little bit very few concepts that we have to understand. Number one concept, it is also called capitalist system, because as we can understand, the word suggests market. It means that in this system only the main aim of the market is to earn profit, and a person who is always having profit as a concentration, it means he is a complete mercantile character, or we can say a mechanism where market is based on profit. Now in this market system, few positive aspects are, it is also called capitalist system. In this, profit is only the main central idea. In this, investment is done by just having profitable industries only. Next, fourth point is market is free from restrictions. Mostly all the government's restrictions are not there. Then also they are negligible. Next concept is no economic policy of government is forced to follow them. And the next important concept is that competition is complete present in this type of market mechanism. All the factories, all the industries, all the firms, all the institutions are always having one concept, that they must perform the best and they must be the best competitor for the others. And the next point, or the final point according to me, which is important for market system, is that in this maximum production is there, so the economy is growing very fast. And this type of market system we can see in mostly all the developing countries, for example America, England, France, etc. We can understand that up to now we are knowing that these countries are called developed countries, and in that they are completely always helping financially and in all terms to the other countries. Now we come to the second part, that is social system. Social system means here all factories, firms are there. They are all factories and firms are there, but their aim is not profit. Their aim is production for the welfare of the society. So in this, all the primary needful things are only produced. And Russia and China are the developed country who have used this socialist mechanism for the development of their country. And in this socialist system, all the economic decisions are taken by the state, or we can say the government, or we can say the country. And society is in mind for all the decision from A to Z. Even government is also thinking about society. If any individual industrialist is there, he will also think about the society's welfare. And in this social system, society's welfare is must. As I tell you that to generate employment, to produce such a thing which are important for society only. So this is the main basic idea of the socialist system. And in this system, the most important concept is that production and price are decided by the state according to the need of the time, or according to the pocket of the consumer, or we can say the citizen or the people of the country. And in this, labor are paid according to their ability. There is no discrimination in terms of payment. How much work they are going to do, that much they are going to get return. Okay, so now we come to third concept, that is mixed economy. As the word is suggesting, that mixed economy is a completely blend form of market system as well as social system. And in this system, all the plus points of both the mechanism are accepted by the countries or the government for the development of the country. And actually it removes all the limitations or negative points of both the market mechanism. And in this, mostly all the firms are public also as well as private also. And it is well controlled system, because all the firms or producers have to follow the government rules also in every term, in every aspect. And India, France, England are following this system, and we can understand that being a citizen of India, you all are knowing that from the beginning I am telling you that India is a developing country. Developing means still development is going on. And in our India we are having mixed form of economy. In this we are having private firms also and public firms also. Private firms means Reliance Industry. Private firms means all other different types of industries. And public means BSNL, MTNL. So okay, so you can understand. And but still mixed economy also having some demerits or limitations or negative points. So according to me, you must learn all the important concepts of the mixed economy, especially limitations and important aspects. So I will now put my stress upon demerits or limitations or negative points of the mixed economy. Number one is mixed economy is always unstable because it depends on the government's rule. It is controlled by the government's rules, and we can understand government rules are always permanent. They are not changing according to the need of market mechanism. Second thing, it has lack of coordination between all four factors, or you can say coordination between consumer and producer, coordination between two producers, coordination between government and the producer. So we can say that it is having lack of coordination. Third negative point is it is having inconsistent economic policies. It means that none of the policies permanently followed, and as the governments in our India, government is ruling the country for 5 years. The next government which will come, that government will abolish the old government's rule. So whatsoever started by the old government is completely not fruitful for the next years. So we can say that consistent economic policies or rules are not there. Fourth negative point is that low rate of growth and development, and it is very important concept in your mind. You must keep that in mixed economy everything is low. You can understand that economic development is also low, economic progress also low. Now I came to my last point, that is homework. So first of all, I put my stress upon 4 questions only. Number 1 is write difference between economic growth and economic development. Second question is write difference between economic and non-economic activities with example. Third question is write in detail about all 3 market systems. Fourth question is write all salient features of a developing country. For all these 4 questions, again I am saying this, in final exams of March and prelims also, these all points are very important. And these points, these questions, these titles mostly coming in 3 marks question also and 5 marks question also. So learn all these 4 concepts by heart and take help from the textbook. And thank you for listening me. God bless you all. Bye. See you.